Okay, hello. I'm going to go right into it. Try and make this podcast short and sweet. With the quarantine, the coronavirus, and everything like that, been going a little bit insane, as I imagine a lot of people have. So I started up my side hustle, which has been aerating lawns, which has gotten me out in the sunshine, thankfully, and given me an opportunity to listen to audiobooks. And the audiobook that I've been listening to, I'm actually re-listening to it because it really changed a lot of my thoughts, was UnBroken. I can't remember, by Laura something. But that book, because I read a lot of business books. I think everybody knows I read a lot of business books and self-help books. I didn't expect it to be so motivational for me in that regard. I expected it to be a good history book. I love history. I love war history, especially World War II. That's my favorite war to study. So I just assumed that it was going to be a really good listen to for my history side. But I did not expect it to have so many applicable lessons to right now, especially in the quarantine. So that's what this podcast is about. Maybe a brief summary of the story. This track kid, he starts out as a punk as a kid, and gets into track because his older brother kind of pushes him, and that kind of takes him out of being a punk, and he gives all of his energy into track. Barely makes the Olympics, goes to the Olympics, and races and gets 7th or 8th place in the Olympics in Berlin, and plans on going to the next Olympics. So he comes home, starts training, but the next Olympics gets canceled because of World War II. Then he gets put into, it was that order where if you volunteered, you could choose which branch, whereas if you waited to get drafted, you got put in whatever branch they needed you. So he enlisted and went into the Army Air Force, I believe, and hated it and left, but didn't see that he signed a document that said he would come back into it. So then when America went to war, he got drafted back into the Air Force at that time. Gets sent to Hawaii, gets sent on a couple different missions, and on one of them, he's going on a search and rescue mission for a downed plane, and his plane breaks, and he barely survives it. Gets in a raft with 2 other people. One of them dies, the other one gets to land with him, and then it kind of goes over his time as a POW, and then how he eventually gets back to life, how he gets really into drinking and I don't know if I would say abusive, but almost abusive to his wife, and then he finds Christ and comes back and lives a really happy, full, rich life. So it's a super, super good story. I think my wife might be vacuuming in the background, so if that's what you're hearing, sorry about that. But the lessons that I learned, I want to share some of those because super, super applicable to right now. The first one is keeping your mental strength high. When they were on the boat, Louis is his name, he said that he remembered a professor suggesting that a muscle is more or your mind is more like a muscle that could atrophy if not properly taken care of. And so they would drill each other, do math problems, recite recipes, tell each other their history, and then make the others recite it back to them to keep their mental strength really high, which is incredible because people who get lost at sea were known to go crazy after 6 days, and these guys lasted 46 days on the ocean in this raft, getting attacked by sharks. A Japanese plane came and shot at them. They should not have survived, but they just emphasize the importance of keeping your mental strength super high and exercising your mind. And when I heard that, I was just man, how applicable is that to right now? So the things that I've been doing to keep my mental strength up is I've been writing in my journal. And I don't want to say it's every day, but writing every single day. I think, I'm going to butcher his name. Is it Joe Rogan, the motivational speaker or whatever? He talks about writing in your journal every day. Grant Cardone talks about writing down your goals every day. Tom Ferry talks about writing down gratitudes every day, as well as what you feel like you are, like writing 30 times I'm a great realtor, or I'm an amazing mom, or I'm a kick butt employee, whatever your situation is, so that you keep your mind active. And that's been just something huge for me, is just to, because it's so easy right now, because we're like, our order is to stay at home. It is so easy to just sit and watch Netflix all day long, or play Xbox all day long. But to take some time, I saw Julia Edelman post on his Instagram, just take some time to read a book, or do some math problems. You know what I mean? Like, it's so important to take care of your mental health right now, because this is going to get over. I think it's going to get over here fairly quick too, you know, and we don't want to let our mind atrophy. We want to stay strong. So that's the thing, like, find a way to do some mental exercises, whether that's like reading a book, or, you know, trying to do some old math problems, or writing in a journal, you know, maybe you write down your history, you know, for your posterity or whatever it is. Keeping your mental strength super high, that's so important right now. So the next thing is keeping your dignity, which was really, really interesting, because like the Japanese, you know, they keep honor so high, and obviously we know about like the suicides rather than surrender, that kind of theory. So their philosophy was like to try and break the prisoners as much as possible, and to like degrade them as much as possible, and they like wouldn't let them speak and all this kind of stuff. But in acts of defiance, to keep like their humanity, they would speak in Morse code by like squeezing their hand and letting go, and tapping and using da and ti, because your lips don't smack, so that they couldn't hear the lips smacking. Like, they would still find ways to communicate with each other. And the author said that just this little bit of communication let them feel like they were human. And right now it's so easy to kind of feel almost unhuman with the ability to, you know, just kind of vegetate in and not do anything. And I think for the most part, you know, with it being sunny and stuff, I think people are getting out and walking and trying to like get out of the house where possible. But I think it goes deeper into like, you know, religiously, if you're a religious person, making sure you're doing your devotions every single day, reading your scriptures, or meditating, or praying, whatever it is, keeping yourself close to God. I think it just like taking a shower every single day, which maybe that's like shoe-in, but like I could see how easy it would be to just like, oh, I'm not doing anything today, I'm not doing anything tomorrow, you know. But like taking a shower, doing your hair, you know, shaving, whatever it is, just to keep your dignity, just to feel like a person, because in this time it's so easy to kind of let yourself not feel like a person, if that makes sense. So just the importance of keeping your dignity, doing things. I'm not saying you gotta walk around with a suit and tie around your house, because that doesn't make sense. But you know, once a week, definitely get done up in some way or something like that. You know, something that will give you a sense of pride, like you know, do your hair as if you were going to a meeting, and maybe call up some friends on a video chat or whatever. You know, just do something that like brings that dignity to yourself. The next thing, in this one prison camp that he was in, it wasn't like an officially registered prison camp. Let me hold on for a second. My video is about to cut out. If you want to listen to the rest of the like audio, go to my podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. But yeah, if my video cuts out, that's why. So anyway, these prison camps that they're on, it was like not registered, so they called them unarmed combatants, so they could do terrible things to them. So they would feed them like this crap rice that basically had 500 calories, and that's all they would get for the whole day. So they were terribly malnourished. And then they would make them do this squat. I can't remember the term that they used, but basically they would like squat down with their arms raised above their head, and they would have to keep that squat. And then they make them do calisthenics and work out in front of them. And they would just go and go and go until they would make these prisoners fall and collapse, and then they would beat them for falling. And Louis says at one point, this one guard that was like particularly nasty to him is like just beating him and yelling at him, making him do this squat. and he's about to break, and he's like, I can't do this anymore. I can't go on anymore. And just as he takes a hit, he looks into himself, and he says, I can't be broken. And that gave me chills when I heard that one. Oh my goodness, I can't be broken. What a powerful statement that is, to just look at your tormentor and just say, I can't be broken. You will not beat me. He was stronger than this prison guard was going to be, and he was going to make that known. And I just think that is the coolest thing in the world, just to understand that whatever your situation is, I can't be broken. This will eventually pass. This will go away. And there's power in saying, I can't be broken. I won't be broken. So I absolutely love that. And then this final point, this one hit me the most out of everything. It's when he's running in the Olympics. He gets a letter from his brother that basically says, I'll just read it. It says, a moment of pain is worth a lifetime of glory. I just tweeted that out, actually, because that hit me so incredibly hard, because it's not fun to do hard things. I won't even lie to you, it's not fun, but it's so incredibly important to do things that are painful, because that's the whole purpose of us growing, is doing things that are uncomfortable and scary. I have a marketing campaign that I was planning on implementing this summer that heavily involves me going door to door, which I did as a missionary, and I know I can do really well, but I don't love going door to door, right? Knocking doors is not the funnest thing in the world. Making phone calls, cold calls, is not the funnest thing in the world to do. But when I heard that a moment of pain is worth a lifetime of glory, I thought about where I want to go and the dreams that I have and what I want to do in my life, and realizing that someday when I am on a beach in Hawaii, sipping a pink lemonade with my super hot wife, watching our kids surf, I'm going to look back to when I was 23, knocking doors, and say, gosh darn it, that little moment of pain, when that jerk yelled at me, or when that door got slammed in my face, but then 3 doors down, I ended up selling a $350,000 home, and that kick-started my career, that was totally worth it. That little moment of pain has let me have all of this glory, all of this fun, and all of this enjoyment. And so I think it's so important right now to get ready and explode when this quarantine is over. To understand that a moment of pain can equal a lifetime of glory, that little things will amount into huge, amazing, awesome things. That hit me so hard. So my, challenge to you, or my thought to you, is to understand that whatever it is this summer, do something painful that could bring glory later on. Do something hard that is going to push you and motivate you and eventually bring you the glory that you want. It doesn't have to be business, it doesn't have to be sales, but maybe it's running a mile in under 8 minutes, or maybe it's losing 20 pounds, or maybe it's reading 20 books, or getting a promotion. Whatever it is, do something painful this summer that brings glory to you by winter. That's my thoughts. So I'm gonna go hit some golf balls, enjoy a little bit of the sunshine that's out, and then post this later. So thanks for listening, thanks for watching. I hope you have a good one.